Okay. We should be live. Let me check. My fixed shirt is buggered. Tell you what, you need to work on that light in there, right?
Yeah, you got to find the exact spot.
Yeah, you need to just get that lighting going. What have you got there, Ray? Let's have a look.
On what?
What are you working with? Some. Put a Pringle down and give me some. It's not bad. You know, anybody would have thought that I'd have done better versus Fraud.
It's better.
Yeah.
My left doesn't straighten out. Like I made fun of Devon like a week before and doesn't go further. My right is complete like I'm walking around like this all the time.
I have the same exact injury from fake taxi. I also can't see. All right, let's get us up here. See what we got.
We're live. We're definitely live.
Are we definitely live? Have you checked us?
We are. Yeah.
In that case, I'll just warm myself up and then I'll do the yeah. There we are. We're on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fix.
Oh, very nice.
Hey,
classic lineup. You know, back from 2020.
This is the 2020 lineup of the fix, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Before we introduced the mighty White Orc to the show.
This is back when we were very sensible, I think.
Yeah, I thought, I'm going to be honest, mate, I thought it went the same. I mean, Paul, you know, unbelievably nice dude, but so wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
His statements are
zany guy, you know.
yeah.
It's off the wall. It's like, well, sometimes, you know, we're in there and he'll make some rash claim about who he can beat. Ryan.
Every week.
Doesn't happen, yeah.
Twice a day sometimes. So weird.
I don't know how we go. Whoa, Joe Mama. Come flying in with a super chat.
Already.
Nice work, son. He's put 2 fixes in a week. 1 is not enough. The fix crew. Surely, we ain't done 2 in a week, have we? Have we done 2 this week? I can't friggin' remember. Usually it's Sunday night, regular feature, live and direct. Do you want some bad news, guys?
Yeah.
Washing machine's broken. Couldn't get my fix shirt clean.
I couldn't find it. I was looking for it. So this is Team Norway shirt. So
I'm good today. Yeah, modelling it. Now I thought that might have been a forfeit from Froda, where he'd come up to you beforehand and say, I'll tell you what, mate, whoever wins this match, other one's got to wear the shirt forever. I was trying to talk John Thompson into that earlier tonight with David Bradford, actually. You know, either that or, you know, like...
Got some nice armors tattoo, you know, on the arm.
Yeah, could do that. There's all kinds of forfeits that you could do. I mean, Ryan, you must have had many people say that. I think you were heading that road with RVJ, weren't you?
Well, it always adds a bit of extra validity to a match when you put some skin on the game like that. So I think my one of my early super matches with Murray Mackay, when he was that giant 6 foot a million guy out of Perth, WA. He wanted to have a tattoo bet with me, but he pussied out in the end. So because he lost, well, he didn't do it.
You were actually you were going to do it though.
Oh, I said, yeah, whatever you want, Murray, because I knew I was going to win, and he was just trying to scare me out of the match, and he lost.
Do you have any tattoos, right?
No, stupid little ones, yeah, few.
Really?
One that says 44%, and one that says I'm coming for RBJ. I don't know, all those sorts of things.
I love it. I love that you've used strap lines from your channel on 44%. So maybe I should have Danny can twat your dad on a tit.
I think, guys, before we go further, we need to give a shout out to Adam Gerbert.
Oh!
It's overdue, isn't it?
It is, actually. For anybody,
everything that Ryan has ever done is because of this man.
Adam. I mean, Ryan, I don't want to steal your thunder, son. Are you going to tell him what happened with Adam?
No, I don't. I got to tread carefully here. He's a lovely gentleman that I respect. But I think Adam Gerbert's he's from Florida, or he's from that part of the world. He was in Florida when I pulled Chance Shaw and had that belter of a match there and at a barbecue. But credit to Adam Gerbert, at about the 4-hour mark, you did flash pin me with that nasty press that you've got, and Adam has been calling me out for a super match ever since. So yeah, I think Adam's one of the old guard. I don't know how old Adam is, but he's elderly, and he pulled back in the 80s and all that sort of stuff, and was a good pull then, and has pulled with, I think he's pulled with John, he's pulled with all of the legends, and held his own, I believe. So yeah, he's strong dude.
And he's pulled with you and beat the
every week without failure. Before the fixed show, he messaged me and reminds me of exactly how he flash pinned me in that.
Are we talking here, right? Are we talking like, when you say flash pin, are we talking, was it like a terrible beating, like a Frauder versus Ray beating, that level?
It was like that round 5 Frauder where after there was a shoulder roll somewhere from Frauder where he just dropped the hammer on Ray. It was like that. You didn't see it coming next minute. Oh shit! Okay.
The reason I'm not going to come back to arm wrestling anytime soon, because I don't think I could take the absolute leathering that I'd get here on the fix when I came back and got murdered. Can you imagine? Ray had come on there like that with his shades on and his cigarette going, oh, what happened? Walk me through that match, Chubby. No, Ray, let's start with that, mate, okay? Because for everybody here on the fix, we're going to give some updates straight off the bat about Arm Wars Reality Check, which is coming together beautifully. And if COVID doesn't destroy our lives, it's coming together lovely, and it's looking like we've got some great matches on there. But there are some changes. Now, first of all, we're going to start with Alan Guerra. Alan Guerra, unfortunately, his dad has become seriously ill. And Alan was here in the UK. He's had to go back to Mexico. He's going back to Mexico to be with his family. So we wish Alan all the very best and his family all the very best in that scenario. But that will count Alan out of the show. So we are moving that match around. Rolly Ray will be pulling the Birmingham Bullet, Craig Sanders. Extremely difficult match. Pulling Craig Sanders in his hometown. Wow. Talk me through that.
That's a tricky match for me to read. I've never gripped Craig, but I know of his pedigree and I've watched him pull plenty. I think Ray's going to be. I feel like the Ray is stronger if the match stops, but it's that speed and explosivity. It's like, holy shit, I don't know. This one, I'm steering clear of actually staking this one because I don't know. I don't feel confident either way.
Very interesting match, isn't it? But the one thing we do, or everybody knows about Craig Sanders, is there is no way around him. If you try to go around him, you are doomed. The only way to do anything with Craig Sanders is to literally grit your teeth and run straight into him.
But Ray's got that. If he wants to, I guess if Ray can bang straight sideways, trust his hand and just go. I don't know. Like I said, I genuinely don't know who to back on this one. Like I said, I feel like I'll still steer clear of it. What's Craig's weight? That's a big factor for me right now because he's
bigger. He's going to be around the 83, 84 kilo mark.
Okay. Let's set a weight limit because I'm kind of tired of being fat.
What are you now?
I'm 88.
Okay. Well, you're still good though. If you want, it's not a problem. You're under the weight limit at the moment, so you're okay. And Craig says he doesn't care.
Yeah. Okay.
What weight you coming at?
At least like for Friday, I tried to, at some point get some weight up because I was, too far behind, and it was an issue. But for him, I will be comfortably 85, maybe 86.
Yes. So you're going to come in very similar, few kilos apart, not.
Yeah.
Have you guys pulled before, Ray?
I think we have. I think we have done a lot after pulls. He's been in Riga. I don't think I was in a class. Like I saw him beat up guys in 2012 when I was just, starting really, and I was like way lighter. I was like 2 classes under him. So I think we fooled around. His arm is so hard to get by, especially then. Now, I feel confident in my abilities, but I will say how it is. Alan Guerra was a better match for me.
Yes.
Just because Alan would have stopped and we would arm assault and we could, that match would go anyway. Craig will try to beat me real fast, real quick, 6 times.
Yes,
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just trying
So
to find
I'm
it
coming
through
in
the
with a
door.
little bit different mindset than I went into the Fraude, because with Fraude we arm assault. That was the difference. We arm assault. He was better arm wrestler. So here I will try to stop him. I have good information from Giannis. Giannis has pulled him 2 times. 2014 and 2000. I forget which year. 2008, something like that. But I know how dangerous he is. I know how he hits. It's an interesting and different kind of challenge, because I was thinking I will be the faster guy versus Fraude. So I'm not now thinking I will be the faster guy, but I'm happy that it's with the right arm, because my left, like I said, cannot straighten it out now. But
how much damage have you picked up, mate, from that match? Are you seriously damaged, or are you not too bad?
Oh no, I'm perfect. Not like my right is like pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Left is just beat up. It's nothing. No injuries. It's just beat up. I trained today for 2 hours. Yesterday, I got a little bit sick when I got home, so I got some cold. So I just stayed at home for 3 days or 4 days, basically. And then from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I have been training already. It's next week, me and Raimonds Liepins, we're starting a camp together, so we're training together. He is for Petrenko, and I'm for Craig Sanders. So, yeah.
Yeah, fight camp, it's on, getting ready. Now, a little bit more news about the Arm Wars. Major change. Orway super heavyweight class is no longer. Why? Chance Shaw and Derek Smith are out. Issues there. Neither man, the last time we spoke, neither man had their vaccine. I believe that Chance's father also has caught COVID-19, and so I'm told by Chance is in a pretty serious condition. I hope Dan is okay. Again, from everyone on the fix, I understand COVID is no joke, and I hope Dan comes through that okay. I know there are a number of arm wrestlers being affected by it, Michael Todd amongst others. So hopefully Dan pulls through that all right. I'm not going to talk about the details behind what has happened on the other side of that with Derek, but Derek is facing into a couple of personal issues as well. And unfortunately, he also hadn't had his vaccine last time we spoke. Now, a requirement of getting into the UK is that you've got to have that vaccine. Unfortunately, if you haven't, you're not going to be allowed into the country. So that leaves us with Espy and Alex Kadetcha. Both men are fine with the fact that they will now pull one another right and left one-on-one. So that's how that's going to go down, guys. Just going to knock over a couple of super chats real quick before I miss them. Let's have a look and fire through this. Joe Mama, very active there. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. And he's put thank. Ray's Cats asked they have to call Fraude Grandpa since now they heard he's Ray's daddy. JK Ray, only a joke, son. I'll stick to Ryan jokes. Yeah, you stick with what you know, brother. Ryan's right there. He's there for the taking. And he's made some great statements this week, so I expect some of those will come up. I love a bit of Ryan. Now then, SG Records, thanks for your super chat, mate. Love the Fix Show. Thanks you guys for your work. Thank you, mate, for supporting the channel with your super chat. Really appreciate that. Ryan Bowen's bicep vein has come flying in with a $10 super chat. Somebody please get me a match. I'm dying out here. Yeah, can't move, can't breathe. But you got Lachlan Adair coming up, so.
That's so funny.
Yeah. No, and Lachlan Adair is undoubtedly, for what I personally feel, my most difficult super match opponent to date. Undoubtedly. Whether you're a believer in Lachlan or not, you got to just look at like he's a even if he hadn't progressed from Zloty 2019, he was a Zambalat level puller at that stage, and he's progressed. So you got to respect Zambalat for what he's done. That's the level of the opponent. So it's a significant super match. I would have loved clearly, I would have loved to have been anyone else other than Lachlan, someone international, ideally. Or same Lachlan's in the same boat. He hasn't had the opportunity to establish a credibility update on an international scene since 2019. So, but we've run out of options, and we'll lose it if we don't pull. So, yeah, we're going to pull and find out who officially is number one in the country.
And what an exciting match that's going to be, and for so many reasons, because you know him inside out. And also, it's nice just to have something to focus on. And interestingly, guys, I'm just looking at the screen here, and there's a big gap. I don't know. With Paul Linn not here, with the White Oak not here, my spirits are a bit. I don't know, they're a little bit down. I've got to try and find a way of sort of filling this gap.
Is there a joke coming, or is it time for Western Survivor?
I just, sometimes I just think you've got to. The other day, right, I did a show with RVJ, and Bojidar came on there, right, and he stole the show, mate. He absolutely stole the show. He came on, he just was entertaining.
Yes, dude. Here we go.
So I figured, we can't just leave it there. In the absence of the White Oak, that's some big shoes to fill right there, isn't it?
I love the pre-prep there with the Guess Who name on the screen.
Yeah, he's done a great job, hasn't he? Who do you think this could be then?
I don't know. We got one.
Oh, come on. Give me a break.
Hey,
Uncle John.
What is going on, boys?
Uncle John sliding in. Who's the Guess Who, though?
Who's this Guess Who?
Like a virgin. Ooh.
All I can say is that, this guy opens people up like a virgin.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey! Dude! Look at that, bro. He's even had his hair cut for it.
Greetings, arm wrestling community.
Great thing. I think I just sent you a friend request on Facebook this morning, even. It just popped up. That notification popped up on my mobile when I woke up this morning. I thought, shit, yeah, why not send him one? There we go. And then here we are on the fix together.
Where is my drinking buddy?
Hey, so he's probably very likely drinking. I mean, it is the weekend,
Well, I'm not talking about Rob because I already beated him 10,000 times in my head. I'm talking about the Vlad the Destroyer. Coach knows what I'm talking about. Turkey 2019.
Hey, it's funny you should say that, mate, because before you came on the show tonight, I was trying to convince our technical director, Rolly Ray, to set that match up, and there's wheels turning. There's wheels turning, isn't there, mate? We will watch this space, mother fluffers. Watch this space. So both guys that have come onto the call in absence of the mighty White Oak, who's stuck at a football game, I believe. And if Paul does get free, maybe he will jump on at some point. White Oak, if you're watching, get on here, mother fluffer. But we figured we'd invite two, I'm going to say YouTube veterans, certainly. In one case, this is the king of YouTube. He's right there. He's the most active man in arm wrestling. And he's also in a killer super match against David Bradford at Arm Wars Reality Check. His name is Uncle John. He's dropped 700 pounds in body weight. He's gone from big, fat and ugly to lean, mean and sexy. I've gone the other way. Mate, welcome to the show. Your first fix.
Thank you, brother. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Do you know who, out of all the matches in Arm Wars, which match has had the most stakes placed on it so far?
Way. Are you serious?
David Bradford versus Uncle John has the most stakes placed. David just sold out, and I'm on my way.
Oh, the Welshmen are back in their man, are they?
They are. Or else David's got some deep pockets, and he just did it all himself. I'm not sure.
Hey, stranger things have happened.
What's going down in that match? Right now, when I look at the lineup on State Kings, I'm hesitant to commit anywhere. I'm seeing a lot of indecision for me. What? Give me the scoop. Where are you at, John?
All right, so I did an hour and a half of going through every single match of staking. I did a live just a couple hours ago. Neil was there for most of it, and you're exactly right. most of the matches at Arm Wars are like, well, on this hand, yes. On this hand, also yes. And it's very, very difficult because a lot of times we don't have the data. We haven't seen some people in multiple years. In the case of David Bradford and myself, not only have we never pulled, but we have never pulled anyone that each other has pulled.
Yeah.
There's like no connection whatsoever. And I think the point of why David Bradford and I is so interesting is partly because nobody knows, and partly because we're ready to kill each other. Like we've proven in the past that we're ready to kill once it goes to the table. And I think that's what we're probably gonna see. And we're really nice in person, but then when it comes to the table, we're just nasty dickheads for the most part. So
just horrible bastards.
Yeah.
But John's managed to mobilize the troops. They're coming in here now. Cooper Maxwell with the super chat. Uncle John has arrived. His army in support, and they're on here. They're coming in. They're flooding in. They're staking. So you are buying the merch. The merch has been. You've got Uncle John. Give us a twirl, John. Look at this, Bodgidar. Look at this, son. Hey,
look good. Yeah, hey. Like that, huh? Bodgidar is going to buy a few. I know.
Yeah, he'll get the family out for Christmas. That's it, mate.
If enough people subscribe to my channel, I'm buying.
Yes, go subscribe to Bodgidar. I was subscriber number 5. Never forget, I was number 5.
Number 5 in the mother fluffing house. Saving the best one to last. Wait till you see Rolly Ray's shirt.
Oh boy.
Oh no!
You see, is it the perfect amalgamation of forest shots
and cat
tailboners, or what?
I couldn't possibly comment, Ryan. All I can tell you is that when you're on the biggest stage in arm wrestling and you need to maintain your professionalism and look a little bit sharper than the competition, I can say with confidence that
I'll kick your ass.
You may well do that, son. Yes. It'll be a wonderful shirt. And for all Rolly Ray fans, you won't have to wait too much longer. I'll tell you right now. Now, it is a great shame that Ryan Bowen will not be at Arm Wars because his was also a spectacular shirt, but he'll be back. And at that point, we'll drop that one in without a shadow of a doubt. I would hope that the same can be said of Body Troll.
Yeah. You can change if I get the shirt, of course, you can change my name.
We got one in now. Henry Bowerslaw's just come in with a super chat for you, mate. He's put beer for Trollsydar. This is you. Hey, you've gone viral after the other night when you came in here and got stuck into RVJ.
Yeah, my wrist muscle got excited.
Have you seen that? Look at that, John. Have you ever seen it? Anybody seen anything like that before?
What is your wrist measure? What's your wrist measure?
I don't know. About 20, maybe.
You're supposed to that's where you had the perfect opportunity to just do the Travis Bajan big. Right then.
Should have gone flying in.
You should do small.
Yeah.
And when he walked in and stand next to Tony, I'm like, dude, maybe you have to eat a little more. He's like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Believe me, I tried to eat as much as I could, but my weight wasn't so sure about it.
Is it hard for you to put
your body
on?
was like, I'm fine.
Can you repeat?
Is it hard for you to put weight on? What you know?
I'm 79 now.
And if you try to go bigger, is it easy or not?
Before it was easy like beating rope, and now it's hard like beating Sasha.
Hey, the funny thing is though, a little bird tells me, right? And this little bird's name was Krasimir Kostadinov, that when he trains with you and he trains with Sasha, on occasion, you are harder to beat than Sasha.
Probably, yeah. Like
that's quite an accolade, mate.
Yeah, it's because of like clash of styles, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Because Krasi's style, it's like a little bit opposite of Sasha's, but I'm going good with the hand control, so I managed to stop him a little bit more, you know?
But for a 79-kilo man, to get Krasimir Kostadinov to make that statement. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I love it.
Pretty bloody impressive right there. So
Well,
Devin Ratatouille.
did I see somewhere that you're pulling Engin Terzi or I feel like I saw Engin Terzi.
Yeah, it was side table. I think, it was after second event when we had like this top 8 under 89 with Marjan, with Salgat.
The poster, aren't you, Ryan? That Engin put out the other day, where he would like to, and he's told me he would like to pull him.
He was deliberating on what he thought the likely outcomes were percentage-wise and that. And he said he'd flash pin you out of straps, but if it went into straps, it became 50-50.
It's possible. Yeah, like he's heavier, like his IQ probably still better than mine. So all I have to rely on is my youth, and that maybe I can improve now better. So maybe if I gain, it will be a really great matchup.
Yeah, it could
but
be.
His hand control is tremendous. I really want to try it.
Yeah.
Open invitation for a fully healed up Engin Terzi. We'll knock over a couple of super chats. Devon Ratatouille, thanks for your super chat, mate. And he's put, Neil, do you own a pickup truck?
Yes.
I actually do. Now then, let's have a look what else we got. Corey West is in the super chat and he's put rough looking bunch. Corey, how you doing, mate? Got a massive match coming up with Toddzilla.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that shortly. That's a dramatic match right there.
Corey's looking like a beast too. I've been chatting to Corey a bit in the background the last couple of weeks, and I think he's coming in the best form he's ever been in, undoubtedly, which is really, really interesting to me. Because I was someone who felt like it was Todd, but now seeing and talking to Corey, I think, oh man, I'm starting to get nervous again.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, out of the blue, will send me videos of some of his lifts. And I don't even know if it's a joke or if I should just believe that those are the real numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane the amount of weight that he pushes.
Well, people, let's be honest here. People say, okay, Chance Shaw might be the future of North American super heavyweight arm wrestling. Derek Smith might be the future of American super heavyweight arm wrestling. Corey West might be I mean, that's a very big. He's like that classic 11 when he was born, mother fluffer, isn't he? I mean, that is a big man. When he came on your show, when he was like 12 years old, he was 300 pounds or something ridiculous. He was massive at that point. So, and I don't know what Corey's weighing right now. He's certainly trimmed up or appears to have, but he's still an absolute monster. And he's pulling a yardstick that everybody's very familiar with in Toddzilla. I mean, if you want to sort of put your flag in the ground and show people how strong you are, if he can get through that dude, that is a tremendous victory. So that'll be a widely viewed spectacle. Bojidar, you know exactly what he's facing there.
That's his current form. So
what a sexy beast.
I'm going to say, Ryan, judging by that picture, son, he's definitely got more idea with the old lighting than you have. He's definitely been hanging out with Mike Aiello, hasn't he?
He's not quite Mike levels, but he's getting there.
Yeah, he's pulling it out the hat. White Wolf has come flying in with a super chat, and it's an Uncle John related super chat. He's mobilized the troops. Uncle John is the destroyer, and we got you staked like Van Helsing the Vampire Slayer. Baptize that biatch. Now that should create a reaction from any David Bradford fans in the chat.
One would hope.
Check in with Bojidar real quick. Mate, we saw you on the practice table with Toddzilla.
We've talked about it. Yeah. My joints and tendons still remembered it.
Still
like,
from
I almost passed out because since my youth, Hutchings was my American idol, I really liked him. Even they called me Bozilla, not Tos. But I was really disappointed that he didn't even manage to try to get into the straps. And I hope that next time he will learn his lesson. I really hope that he attend to the strap lectures for his next match.
You know, for me, I mean, I'll bring Ray in on this because obviously very versed on the technical side of things, and I wouldn't mind getting your opinion on this, mate. But I was of the opinion following that even in defeat on a night when he was clearly out arm wrestled by a man who on that night was the better arm wrestler and deserved to win the match, Toddzilla in typical style still did enough to demonstrate and reflect that with a few minor amends, he could have won that match and he could have won it convincingly, because when it came down to power, he was in a different hemisphere, just got out arm wrestled and wasn't the brightest at the table. And sort of speaking to him that night on the messenger, I think he was very disappointed in himself. How did you see that, Ray?
Yeah, I think we said, like, why didn't you slip? But I tried to slip. Clearly, you know, it was a technical issue more than a strength issue. It was, I don't know if he didn't expect Zaloyev to go hard on top roll, you know, because everyone expected that, seeing what how Zaloyev has arm wrestled in the past years, and, you know, you just saw it. But yeah, I think I didn't think he came out of this match as like a big loser. Like it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like he couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
He was super close. Zaloyev out arm wrestled him. That's what we get from this. You know, sometimes you come back and you just like, there's nothing. You couldn't do nothing. You just lost. It was still like, it's just a step ahead. Just a step ahead. If he figures out how to deny that step next time, you know, Toddzilla could be the winner. And, you know, I look at him same as I was looking before the match, you know, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys felt about it, because like I didn't think like he lost. Yeah, he lost, but that's it. You know,
like
on a different day, on different circumstances, you know.
Yeah, it was doable, wasn't it? It wasn't you know, and I know the talk beforehand. I mean, I think myself and Ryan were on a show and we were talking about it, and the all the chat was going nuts. Like, oh, he's going to run into the hook. They're going to go hook on hook, and we're going to see this. It's going to be straight into the hook and test for power. But all that sort of machismo and accompanying bullshit went straight out of the window, because Zoloff was smart enough to think, so I've got an option. I can go around this guy, and that's exactly where I'm going to go. You know, it was like everybody perceives me as the puncher. I'm going to show you all I can box tonight. I'm going to run around this dude. I'm going to get around him. I'm going to find another way, and I'm going to make it a boring, flat affair in many ways. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because we're about to head into a scenario where Rob Vigent Jr. is facing Sasha Andreev, and Sasha is as strong as it gets on any given day in the hook, and he's God-given gift to pull in there. In every respect, if you look at him, the way he's made mechanically, he's a very, very difficult prospect. And the other day when Božidar and Sasha and RBJ were on the phone, I remember Božidar distinctly sort of starting the mind games and trying to bait Rob Vigent Jr. and saying, if you beat him inside, you'll have my respect forever. And I personally hope that Rob doesn't take that bait and do that. I really hope he arm wrestles, because I think that even if he does, and he tries to use every weapon in the arsenal, it still turns into a screaming, career-ending death war where neither man can hold the dick till they get back to the native country. Now, Ryan, how do you see that, mate?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I think Rob needs to respect Sasha's threat inside. He's the much more compact forearm. So mechanically speaking, it's going to be a silly road for Rob to go down. Look, it's something that he could go down if he's at 4-0, then yeah, definitely go in there and test your frame. But the likelihood of it being 4-0 is pretty low. I think it's going to be a close match at the end of the day. I know that if we look at Sasha's pedigree and try to find an opponent that Rob has pulled similar, we've got to talk about probably Todd Hutchins. It's probably the man that is most similar in style and composition. And interestingly, Rob is actually, I think, about to travel to Todd Hutchins' place for a couple of weeks. They're going to spend some time preparing for their upcoming matches, Todd, Corey, and Rob against Sasha. So I think that Rob's actually got the perfect preparation opportunity by training with Todd. I know Todd has gotten the edge over Sasha when they've pulled in Moldova, but I don't know. I see this match as being determined mostly by who gets to dictate the lane that they fight in. Yeah, and that lane is clearly if it goes inside, it's Sasha's lane. If it stays outside, it's Rob's. So yeah, I think that's where the match is going to be won and lost.
And there's going to be some benefit there for Toddzilla as well, because he's obviously got this match with Corey West. Corey's actually
who's a hand control beast, yeah.
Yeah, and Corey's come in super chat and given us his weight. He's 424 pounds. That's trimmed up. 424 pounds.
It's like
Like
10
it's on my
portions.
face. Holy shit. It's a big dude.
A gorilla.
About what? Like I was thinking about something like for Moldova. Maybe partly it was my fault that Sasha lost, because before the competition, I was telling him, let's go to Moldova. And he was telling me like, no, I'm off seasoning now. I'm not working out. I don't feel in good shape. And I said, why? You are Sasha, you're beating everyone. And I was probably in one of my best shapes. Even I lost to Mayorov. Like I just lost, but I was feeling amazing. And Sasha had some side thoughts about this competition, but the prizes there were too much for our sport back then.
Yeah.
But anyways, like he managed to beat Krasi, and Sasha is not actually a lot of endurance puller. So I think like they still have unfinished job with Hutchings. I don't know what would be the outcome, because I know what I felt in Turkey, and from my practices with Sasha, like I can't say for sure who is the stronger.
We made an interesting comment there, to be honest, Borgi, because if you're talking about endurance arm wrestlers in the hook, I'm not sure there's many much better than Toddzilla. Toddzilla can go really hard all day. I always remember John Brezink at the time when Devon Larratt was known as being the endurance monster, you know, and I remember we were in Poland. I kept John awake all night by snoring my motherfucking ass off. And the next day, as he started to fall asleep on a pier somewhere in Poland, he woke up with a start and said, you know what? I'd love to see Devon Larratt and Toddzilla in a hook and who won. Like that. And I was like, we were talking about ice cream, so he clearly dropped off. But I didn't give a shit. I thought that's an interesting point. John, thanks for throwing that in randomly for no apparent reason. And I've never forgot that, mostly because he drooled and he spat on me when he said it, but it stuck with me.
Yeah.
Nobody
Nobody
pushed me back from this position like Toddzilla. Like I passed out for 1 second.
I love that. I love the honesty, mate. Seriously, I do.
I didn't went like 110 on him. I went like 200. I wanted to beat him like I don't know, like it was the only thing I wanted from life, you know.
Yeah. There was nothing left in the tank. You had nothing left. I love it when you go there. I was once training with a bigger man, and much more powerful man at that time when I was a young guy. And I think I was like 20 years old, something like that. Didn't really have any off switch. So I was going to, if my arm broke, I was still in there. And I went flying into this dude. His name was Paul Cant. And he was a guy who was based in the south of England. And I dug into him and drove like hell. And suddenly, you know, I went flat out and suddenly something happened. Paul Cant looks at me like, oh, what happened there? And there was like a moment of silence when I had to reflect on the fact that I pulled that hard that I sucked my own tracksuit up my asshole.
It's just relocating. If it breaks, it breaks. It will get stronger after.
Nothing prepares you for that moment, though. Nothing prepares you for that moment when you literally suck in through your asshole and your pants go right up it. And you have to stop the match, and like everybody's like, "What happened?" And you hope nobody noticed, and you walk away like that. That's the effort I put in. Maximum effort, Uncle John.
You just put your winner in mangina mode.
It was awesome stuff. SG Records, thanks for your super chat. And I want to. This is nice for you, actually, Boji. He's put. I saw the other day Tortiev and Zolev top roll practicing. Now, one of my favorite matches ever.
There's no Tio versus Lou.
Mate, I'll tell you what. What about him? His match, Boji's match with Tortiev.
Mm.
Are they Europeans? Where was
The Worlds 2017.
What's up?
I was preparing only for Georgie. I was prepared. He was in my head. Like the way he beat Tsvetan, I wanted revenge for this. And nobody knew me back then. So I was just ready. And this was the trick in my sleeve.
Mm. How do you rate Tortiev in terms of awkward factor? Because he's sort of like, he's kind of like a middleweight version of a young Vitali Lalatin.
He's amazing. Like after the competition, like he told me I didn't feel good this day. Like he said it's probably that's why he lost the semi-final as well. But anyway, we both were crushing everyone in the category. So either he got his temperature after I beated him,
yeah,
or before this, but I still think that we have unfinished business with him.
I would love to see that over 6 rounds, mate.
Probably he has, for the middleweight, he and Plamen Dimitrov has the strongest top row, so I would be glad to pull with them both.
Do you think Ryan Bowen can beat Plamen Dimitrov?
What does Ryan think?
Man, I've never seen Plamen in the flesh, so it's interesting read. I mean, his top roll is pedigree. Really hard to defeat his pronator. Instinctively, I would try to just limit his pronator. I wouldn't expect to turn it in. I would try to limit it, get a stop with my arm out here, and then endurance factor, side pressure factor, start chipping through. I think stylistically, it's a great match. Like I said, I have no idea though. I don't think, data on a power level is for me a tricky one, where I'm at right now. Yeah. But stylistically, I could see it. If the power balance was good, man, it'd be a great shape.
Because I now Plamen is in great shape, like we've been pulling for the last few days. And I can say that now he's gaining more and more, like he's getting more confident. So this matchup would be great experience for you both. So that's all I can say. But
I'm just at that point where I'm keen to pull.
But if you're going against him, better prepare your hand control and your hand.
Yeah. No doubt.
Better not to be waiting for you in Australia in the post.
Yeah. Man, I'm just at that point where I'm ready to pull anyone.
As long as you're hungry, that's all.
Very, very. Well, thankfully, we got Levan. Levan is going to be turning up here in my part of the world in only a few weeks' time. So,
Blob's just come in with a question on that, mate. Blob, thanks for your super chat. He's put, when will Ryan beat Levan? So a couple of weeks' time, guys.
Yeah, you only got to wait a couple of weeks. So I can't wait. I can't wait to touch that man's hand and just to get his impression, because Igor Mazarenko offered me the match with Irakli for the undercard on Levan and Dave, and I couldn't accept it because my country wouldn't let me travel there. So it'll be really interesting to get Levan's opinion on how that match would have gone had we have faced. And to me, that's just Levan's opinion is the most exciting thing that I've had in my personal arm wrestling journey for the last 2 years. It's just to get his opinion on where I'm at. It's gonna be mega.
Yeah, it's tremendous soundbite there as well from Ryan. I can't wait to touch that man's hand.
Of course.
And I get stick on here. I'll tell you what, there's no justice. Now, Joe Mama, come in with a super chat, and you're going to love this one, Bojidar. He's put, Neil, I like Bojidar, but I thought it was weak as hell to bring up PEDs and Dave last time. Is Sasha willing to accept Rob's testing challenge? I'll go first. Not at Arm Wars, he's not. Okay. And now you can carry on, mate. Pick that up at your will. What do you think, Bojida?
Well, I can say like for doping control, I'm always on. Like because I couldn't stand like these thoughts from somebody who never woke up at 6 a.m. or never tried to work out whole night with Krasi, like pulling for more than 12 hours and one overnight. So like, and as well, I'm not growing from the few 4 or 5 years. So how can you call me I'm a guy on steroids if
I want to comment. I want to comment on this because I didn't saw the whole episode, but I just saw the post. And RVJ is always talking about this. Has RVJ ever done a doping test? Has he competed in doping tested competition? Do you guys know?
RVJ, I really don't know.
Don't know.
And I want to say
how many doping tests have you done?
I wanted to say like 2017, they didn't even give me a choice. They said, you will give doping test. And I said, okay, for sure. Come with me in the toilet and I will just pee in the fucking cup. So like from, I gave 2015, 2016, 17, and I'm not pretty sure, but I think 18 as well. But for Sasha, I'm sure that 2019, maybe he gave doping as well.
Yeah,
like, but my problem is not with Rob saying or me believing that Rob is natural or gifted, or the problem is, like I think Leo on Longevity, he said strongest natural arm wrestler ever. Should you compete in natural competitions where there are tests to really be that? And it kind of fades shadow of guys like Boji, like Vlad is tested every year 2 times out of competition. I'm not even talking about competition in competition in Latvia, competition, Europeans, worlds, wherever they gave it, he does the test. In my opinion, he's the most gifted I have ever seen, just because of the arms are like, crazy. They take blood, they take like urine, everything else. And here's another guy, So I'm not saying everyone, but it's very weird when someone says it and they haven't really been in the same competitions doing those tests.
But on the other hand, you can see. I mean, I love Rob's confidence. I love the fact that he exudes that confidence. I think it spices things up, and I think it makes it entertaining. I think if Vlad's saying the same thing is great, the reality of the situation is that there are a number of weirdos out there.
Yeah. And
trying to select and to be categorical on who is who, that's some gray area right there.
Yeah, but isn't that what Rob is doing? Like, I'm the only one.
No, that's exactly what Rob is doing. Whether you endorse that, but Rob Vigent's definitely going to endorse it because he's Rob Vigent.
The question is Rob Vigent the Mike O'Hearn of arm wrestling? Got a good comment in there.
Well, come on. Yeah, okay.
I personally believe that Rob Vigent is 100% natural. And why is because it will be a ridiculous scenario to be when he's not on TV, when he's not on any kind of public forum, on a podcast, on anything else, the guy's still ringing you up and asking you for tests and asking you to get this tested, that tested. He's non-stop. He's constantly seeking that out. Now, that's not something that started recently. That's not something that started since the advent of YouTube. That's started years ago. When we did Arm Wars High Stakes in Las Vegas, it was one of his things there. He's always had that on his mind. He's always banged that drum. He's always been the believer that he is a unique entity. Now, whether or not he's unique, what he is special. He's different. He's one of the chosen ones. If there's 10, he's one of the 10. If there's 8, Ryan, he's one of the 8. He's a weirdo. He's a freak.
Yeah. Well, end of the day, I don't know. Like, if I feel like I'd love to be able to ask God what percentage and just get the conclusive what percentage of elite arm wrestlers have dabbled a lot, have never dabbled. It would be very interesting to know truly who was the all-time GOAT of never having taken a thing ever. Rob, if that's true of Rob, he's definitely up there as potentially that GOAT. But there's undoubtedly others as well, as Ray has pointed out. But yeah, there's due to the societal sort of stigma and the societal sort of pressures that are surround the topic, I think 98% of those who have won't ever mention it publicly.
Yeah, quite possible. Let's knock over a couple of super chats real quick before we lose them. Let me see what we got here, guys. So Kirsten Prodigy, who will clash with our very own Bojidar, and I think is it February in Malta, mate? You guys are set to pull
26th of February. Malta will be the center of arm wrestling.
Malta, beautiful surroundings, lovely place, and two tremendous arm wrestlers there. 26th of February. Keep your eyes on that. And Kirsten, thanks for your super chat. He's put good to see you all in one screen, guys. Neil, great show. Keep it up. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated, and appreciate your super chat. Chris Gamo, thank you for your super chat, mate. The Boz is fitting up nicely on the show. RVJ all day. But Boz is a good representative. Some of the Eastern pullers who we don't get to see and hear much of. Thanks, gents. I would agree with that entirely. I would, mate, because I think it was refreshing for people to get guys like yourself and Krasi Kostadinov, who are knowledgeable, outspoken, articulate, and really, really good command of the English language. I think it's excellent, and it does make some really exciting viewing for people. You know, I mean, we got Ray, who comes on here and basically sounds like he's English is his first language. I mean, your command of the English language, Ray, is off the charts. And all everything.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, but it is, and people have sort of accepted you as not, even though you converse with the Russian athletes and you translate a lot for the Russian athletes. I think there's sort of been a divide.
Вообще не понимаю.
Don't even go, because I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, what's going on? They're like communicating behind our backs.
I've lived this, Ryan. He came on my show with Levan, and they had like a 25-minute chat. And then he'd come back and give me 4 words. It was like a UFC thing. You know, in a UFC, and the Brazilian guy goes on for 10 minutes. And then they say, what do you say? And he goes,
he enjoyed this fight.
And that was literally what Ray did with me. I'm like, that's it. That's all you're giving me. We sat there like
that. You're the third wheel of that date deal.
Tell you what, mate. It was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. White Wolf's coming with a super chat. Rob would for sure fail the breathalyzer test. Many arguments there, but then again, likely most arm wrestlers would as well. Yeah, Rob, what are your opinions of Rob Bidgent Jr. now that he's not here and you're hammering each other back and forth, Bodgy? And what are Sasha's off the record? Come on, what are Sasha's opinions of him? What does he think?
I told you, I've never seen him working out like this before. Like, he took the match really serious. Like, I can be joking and everything, but that's why I'm doing it, because I see Sasha is serious, and I am doing this all, because this is me. I like to throw. Like, it's since my juniors years, I've been like, if it's Sasha's opponent, but it's not Sasha's opponent, it's mine as well, So I'm doing all my best to give some advantage to Sasha as well, because like, I know Rob's demons are weak, like he lose it really fast, but Sasha is very calm, and that's his advantage. And Sasha looks at him with respect, like every of his opponents, and that's why he took it so serious. It's like the match of the year for him, and maybe not just of the year, but it's one step closer for him to prove that he's the best in this weight class.
And it establishes his record over in the United States of America and North America as well.
Yes.
My favourite super chat of the night's just come flying in here from SG Records. Thanks, mate. And he's put,
I support Ray with his secret translations.
It's pretty awesome. V Porsche, hi, mother fluffer. Thanks for your super chat, dude. Now, let's just make a bit of a comparison here, right? And I'm going to start with a couple of examples. Other day, we're on the show. And we're talking about differences between North American arm wrestling, or North American and Western European arm wrestling, and Eastern European arm wrestling. But it goes deeper than that, really, doesn't it? Because we've got 3 members of the chat here, okay, who are pretty much full-time employed within the realm of arm wrestling on social media or on coaching. Ray, Ryan, and John all pretty much fall into that category. Okay, now bear with me here. We've got Bojanar, who made the case that you train like an absolute animal, focus on it 100%, you're training 6 days a week, and so on and so on.
It's already 8 days in a row.
Now you've got Rob Bidgent Jr., who is extraordinarily busy with his job, with his own business, does not work in social media, is not committed to that, does not focus anywhere near that degree of time on what he's doing. In fact, I'll tell you, this is brutally honest. This is actually what happened. When the match with Sasha, when I told him about 2 months ago that the match couldn't happen because of the situation with vaccines, Rob said, okay, Kit, it was nice while it lasted. I would have really liked to get that match. I guess we go and have a drink and eat what I want again. And he was like off the, he just wasn't training. And there was we weren't on a chat show. We weren't doing anything. It was me and him on the phone. And he just said, okay, I'll just do what I'm doing, then screw it. And that's very much Rob Bidgent for me. And I mean, I love Rob, but that is Rob. He's focused on his family, on kids, on working, on just isn't there. There is by contrast, we book Uncle John for Arm Wars. Okay, John Thompson comes on Arm Wars. Mother Fluffer has never stopped. 100% focused, 100 miles an hour. Is that the big difference here? Is it that Eastern European arm wrestling is more professional? Is it more focused? Are you guys able to get more recognition in your country? What do you think?
Well, probably I've been taking like from 8 to 12 hours shifts, and I still could manage to do not all my routines, but I've been working like at least 1 time a day. So I don't like when I hear those excuses, because like I woke up, my job starts at 8 in the morning, and I woke up at 6. I do my morning routine. Like on my terrace, I put my bands, I have all the handles, all I need. I'm working out. After work, I just come home, eat, take a shower, and go to practice. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all in your head. Like, if you want to be the best, sometimes you need to make some big sacrifices.
No, like, I kind of agree, Boji, and I've been that guy, but let me ask you a couple of questions and you just answer real quick.
Yeah.
How old are you, brother?
23 this year.
Okay. How many kids you got?
That's like a hit underneath the waist. I'm working on it.
It's just most of them land on the laptop. But
yeah, for sure. Like, family distracts you, because I know arm wrestlers who quit arm wrestling at all because of family. So I 100% understand you and respect those decisions, like family first.
So it makes me think, right? I get a call today and people say, oh, so Neil, who you got? One particular guy, you'll know who he is, messages me and he says, who you got, Sasha or RVJ? And I said, as the promoter, mate, I'm going to keep my opinions on that to myself. I've got my opinions, but I'm going to keep them to myself mainly because out of respect for both men. But you cannot help, when you're the matchmaker, you cannot help put these things into your mind and factor them in there. And I'm thinking, does it favor Sasha because Sasha was prepping his ass off for WAF Worlds and RVJ has just backed off and come back in? So I start thinking, how much ground can RVJ make back up in the sort of 4 weeks that we've got to the show? And it's those kind of questions that I think are a difference maker. And it's the age thing, and it's the focus thing, and it's the determination thing. I tend to think that the ability to succeed in any sport is around the individual and just the amount of time that they can focus on that sport. And that's it. That's what it comes down to. And that's where my level of interest comes in on this match with Rob, because I know that dude has not focused that hard on this up to this last 4 weeks. And I am intrigued beyond belief to see if he can sort of come off the match, having mixed it up or beaten a guy who I believe is a one-off weirdo in what he does, and in the prime of his career, a young man with no commitments and training his balls off. That's interesting to me.
Neil, I've always seen an interesting, there's an interesting observation I've made over the years that if we talk about Eastern and Western arm wrestling, I think the average age of the top guys in out of the Eastern representation is significantly younger than the average age of the top guys from the Western world. I don't know necessarily if that's just a cultural thing, but the Todd Hutchins of the world in his 50s, the John Brazengs, I mean, they're all, I think probably mid 40s seems to be about the peak age of a Western-based champion arm wrestler, where like Bozzy here, 23, we see it, I feel like 20s, mid 20s, late 20s seems to be the often average age of the top guy out of Eastern Europe. So I think there's something in that in the degree in which the commitment happens. And Rob, if we look at this match specifically, Rob has been arm wrestling, 18 years or something now. So he hasn't had that short, sharp season of a 5, 6, 7 year career where he's gone all in, but he's had the cumulative effect of 18 years of consistent high level arm wrestling. So there's something to that. It's different. I think also then when we look at the style of American arm wrestling versus European arm wrestling much more explosive and no loads, and Western arm wrestling a lot more preload and slow pulling and endurance.
Yeah.
So a lot of very different factors in where they've both been raised and grown as arm wrestlers. And I think to me, that's just a fascinating and a very interesting thing. To be able to transition from one style to another is a really challenging thing. And meeting an arm wars is kind of that halfway point. So yeah, really good match and interesting clash of background stories.
Interesting clash of everything. And I'm going to pick up on one. It's rare I do this, right? People who watch the show know. But I'm reading comments and Dark Horse comment in there and he says, oh, wow, poor RVJ. Let's feel sorry for him. Dude, you've missed the point entirely. I'm not emotionally attached to the match between Sasha and RBJ. I can tell you right now, I don't give a shit who wins. It's an arm wrestling match. That's it. I'm not bothered. I like both men and I really don't care. But I do love arm wrestling and I am fascinated by the possibility that a guy whose background I really do know and his amount of focus I really do know could potentially pull something off. And if you think that RVJ isn't going to be in this match, I disagree. I think it's going to be a real match. I think both men, whoever wins, come out of this beaten up. If that doesn't happen, I'll be surprised, actually. I think this is going to be a screamer. I wouldn't put it together if I didn't think it was going to be a screamer. But when all this is said and done, and when you look back at the guys who you think were that one-off weirdo, were the guys that were special, that had something unique. And I've known a lot of them, for different reasons. I mean, Engin Terzi is an absolute weirdo. Whatever you say about him, he's an obsessed individual who, through that obsession, reached an incredible level of ability. And there are other guys who've attained that level of ability for different reasons. John Brezink did the same, but from a very different base, with a very different demeanor. What I like is just seeing that freak, that one-off, that weird guy. Nobody needs to feel sorry for RVJ. Believe me, RVJ can look after himself. And I think he may come out of this having bolstered his reputation, win, lose, or draw. But I'm really looking forward to this match. I really am. And it's fascinating what he potentially could achieve. Because as Bojadar's just alluded to, Sasha's very ready, very trained, on form, and ready to go. And I rate Sasha very, very highly indeed. When that dude comes in ready, that's a bad man. Really bad man for anyone.
Here's a question to kind of follow up on this match. What happens? I think what happens if Rob wins versus what Sasha wins. If Sasha wins is two very different things. If Rob wins, I kind of feel like Rob just keeps doing whatever Rob wants to do, right? It's just kind of another feather in his cap. If Sasha wins, I feel like Sasha immediately gains a whole nother level of recognition, right? If you're in the arm wrestling game, you know who Sasha is. But if you're just like a common enjoyer of arm wrestling, you might not know who he is. But if he goes in there and he whacks RVJ, he becomes known. So where does Sasha go after this match, if he beats RBJ, who's there next for him to knock off?
It's the only member of the crew that's on here, mate, who is a North American. Who's the favorite in this match for you? How is it cut? Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40 one way? How do you see it?
Here's the only prediction I could really make. If I had to put money on this match, and I could only put money on the first match, I think Sasha wins the first match, because historically Rob Vision Jr. has been a bit of a slow starter, right? He's got a lot of 3-1 victories because he takes that first loss, and then all of a sudden the rage that lives constantly inside of him opens up and he turns into a Super Saiyan. What happens in those next 5 matches? I really don't know. I don't know. I think I have the same points to make that a lot of other people are making, that Rob's hand, if he utilizes his hand and he's able to keep it out, then that's looking pretty good for him. But Sasha has shown us that when it goes inside, like, he's a force to be recognized, right? And reckoned with. So very difficult to call this one. But if I had to put money on match 1, I'm sending it Sasha's way.
Well, it's that track record, isn't it? I mean, a minute ago, Boji spoke about the fact that we've got in Bulgaria, the diversity of the arm wrestlers in that environment is almost like the perfect breeding ground for excellence, isn't it? Because you've got master tuition from different ends of the spectrum, through polar opposite approach in Svetan Gashevsky, who's, in my opinion, as good as it gets, period. Or Krasimir Kostadinov, who's an extremely diligent, extremely versed, almost like an engineer at the table. You know what I mean? He really thinks his process through. You've also got, bred from that, an incredible spectrum of magnificent arm wrestlers. Guys like Plamen Dimitrov, who is one of the most underrated arm wrestlers on earth. That's a bad man, but a magnificent top roller. And if you get the opportunity to pull regularly with these guys, like Sasha has faced guys like Plamen and been able to close them down. He's faced guys like Kigali Ongobayev, who's a tremendous pronation-based top roller, and managed to shut him down. So it's not like he hasn't got experience with guys who are really gifted at doing that. We've also seen him mix it up with the very best inside arm wrestlers in the world and come out smelling of roses there, as well as the diverse guys like you know, I mean, whichever way you want to play it, the man he is battle tested. But I think, like in North America, again, with all due respect to Rob, I'm not trying to knock Rob. What I'm saying is, the fact of the matter is that right now, if you stop the clock, he's that guy in the backwoods of America that might be able to beat those monsters from Eastern Europe. Might be able to, but we ain't seeing him step outside of that environment. So I think most guys in Eastern Europe will actually have Sasha as a massive favorite. What do you think, Ray? Do you agree or not?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I have been there. I have seen him. Like, I think I have seen every time Sasha pulls in the final, every time Sasha pulls in the category, like every Europeans, every Worlds. So I have seen what he's done. And every year was very interesting. Can the guy that in the final can do something? Or if he messes up in qualification, can he come back? Most of the times he came back. I think almost every time he came back. Zaluyev is the one that beat him. You know, who else? Boji, help me.
I think
when did Sasha lose in Europeans?
Sasha lost to Prudnik, but only in qualification. And
okay,
but then he won, didn't he, in the final?
Yeah,
yes, he won.
Then he lost to Maxim
Chersky, on European,
but
Sofia.
won in the finals.
Yes.
Yeah, and so was really convincingly win.
Lost to Akperov in 2014. Beat Giannis in semi-final.
Yes,
won the final.
Beaten them both.
Yeah. And the times then, I think the 2016-17, he lost. I forgot he gave up the final to his brother, Bulgarian. It was 1 year.
For Tretan, yeah. He gave it to Tretan. But it was intentionally there. Yeah. So, like, when Boji says he has to prove, I don't think he has to prove anything. I think the other guys has to prove something.
Like he has been there, done there. Everyone has came, everyone has fallen. I think he and Zaluev is a great matchup to be had at some point. I think Rob's hand is super dangerous. I think Rob might win the first round. If Rob loses the first round, I think it's a bad day for Rob because he's a different kind of arm wrestler than anyone you have ever arm wrestled. He's so small, so compact. He goes to your hand, kills your pronator, you know, and it's a real issue, especially for hand-based top rollers. When you don't have its pronator, it doesn't matter how hard you hold on. I think Rob can go hard on first 2 rounds. I still think Sasha will pull up a victory. If Rob surprises us, I agree to you, Neil. Still great. Doesn't matter who wins. It's a great match.
You know, the other thing that's weird about this, and correct me if anybody disagrees, but I actually think that Sasha is one of the hardest men to time. His timing is really weird.
Yeah, he kind of like you can hit, like it feels like it's a slow start, but he just ate you up and then he hits the second time.
Yeah, it's like he's into it and he folds in and then and there's like and it's like, where the did that come from?
Yeah.
You think he's redlining and then he just jars into you with some weird ass
connective tissue hit.
Yeah. I have heard when guys like sitting in a bleachers and talking like Sasha has a weak hand or Sasha's hand like I don't think it's weak and I don't think it matters. You know, if he keeps getting inside, getting where he wants, how can you say the hand is weak? You know,
but believe me, his hit is stronger than Francis Ngannou UFC's punch. And this guy has the strongest punch on earth.
These guys don't watch UFC, I guess.
Yeah, definitely watch it. 100%.
Yeah, but you can understand like the strongest punch in the world, Sasha's hit.
So I'm the thing that I'm like, I have seen when Sasha goes versus the guys that we know, the Pruniks, the Spartaks, everyone. I have seen only on videos when Rob goes against, you know, the guys that he's been facing in the latest years. Even though they're strong, I don't know where they rank up with the rest of the guys there. The guy that beat Sasha, Rob lost to him. Am I wrong? Again, I don't think I'm wrong. He lost to Todd Hutchings. And then they
RVJ and Todd Hutchins are pretty, I think it's about 60-40 to Todd.
Yeah, but the last time.
Each other.
Most recent history. I'm talking about most recent history. So it's like everyone always like to comment like Ray loves Europeans or, you know, and Neil loves Americans and men, you know, but it's just the things that I see. I would love to see more and give more information when I see it or get more data. This is where I'm picking.
And I love to know everyone.
Just to for a second to
clarify
that for a second, for a moment.
Raise more cats, I'm more men.
I think
Bojida, I'm curious for you coming from a WAF heavy nation and a commitment to that avenue of arm wrestling. Where does the appeal lie for people like yourself and Sasha? Is it to continue and establish a long legacy in WAF, or is it to get involved in the crazy marketing world of Western arm wrestling and become YouTube famous? What's the thoughts on the top guys?
Well, like for second year, we don't have like worlds and Europeans, so I'm only losing from it. And since this year, I started to go more like in the promoting mode, like to go only in this private, or how to say it, like these competitions, like organized by managers.
Like Engin
Sterzy, right? Like he said, we gave the opportunity to a lot of guys, but you are the only one who survived. So probably this is dragging me more, but I'm not quitting on WAF. I'm WAF guy for sure.
Yeah.
The question that Riot basically asked, so are you going to still keep being world champ, or you just want to be internet famous?
I want to keep the both, you know, but there will be some point that I will have to choose. So
at the end of the day, I think the East versus West is a really really powerful concept within the arm wrestling world. Undoubtedly, there are two very separate hemispheres in the pathways for arm wrestlers, and the more opportunity we get to see those two worlds collide, I think better for all of us. We all want to know where the balance lies, and from the champions from both cultures. So I hope that it happens more and more often. Undoubtedly, WAF is respected as the deepest, most difficult tournament on earth to win. And so we give that credit there, and likewise the crazy super matches of WAL and all that sort of stuff. As much as they legitimately are crazy, the guys at the top are still obviously at that same human sort of potential level. So it's always good when they collide. I love it.
Yeah, I think what would be everyone watching. I think most of the people watching knows, but I think everyone should understand there's difference between like tournament pulling. There's difference between super matches, and I think super matches even divide with super matches where guys are even and it's a great match, and where it's one-sided and we just know this guy is stronger than the other. And I think that those are three different styles of arm wrestling, and people are looking like everything is one. Some guy can be amazing tournament puller, terrible at super matches, or great tournament puller and really can flash pin everyone 6-0, 5-0, 3-0 in super matches, which is boring, And then there are guys like Fraud, like no real titles, amazing. You want to see the guy pull.
Underrated, dude. Underrated.
Yeah.
Fraud, very likely, is fueled by Western Survivor beef jerky, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
Yes.
he would love that, but he's mostly with Norwegian cider. So
can you imagine if Frode Hoagland got a lifetime supply of Western Survivor beef jerky, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest beef jerky in the world? Beef jerky that will put hair on one of Ray's bald cats. www.
Where to sign the contract?
Hey, Boji, if you need to get Western Survivor in Bulgaria, that's what you need to do, son. You get that, your hair will grow back, and you'll get a win against Toddzilla.
I just cut it today for the live show.
I could tell. You're looking very slick.
I will get your haircut tomorrow. So
there you go. Now, Joe Mama just came in with a super chat, quite an interesting one, and he's put, Neil, why do you think the WAF, watching fouls, won't adopt Arm Wars rule set when it's clearly the best rule set around? Honest answer to that, mate, is that Arm Wars is conducive to long matches. So it's trying to facilitate a longer arm wrestling match. That's the whole idea. When you go to the WAF, the entire rule system is orchestrated around absolutely the opposite. It's around clinical arm wrestling to move through 16 to 1900 arm wrestlers in a week. You've got to get through them quick. You've got multiple tables in play, very strict refereeing, the whole thing around slip in a losing position based on interpretation of the guys at the table. There's a lot of rules in there that don't necessarily make them best arm wrestling matches, but they do get through a vast number of arm wrestlers very, very quickly. There's a lot of things there.
I would say, like running fouls, they should implement them in every tournament if WAF doesn't, because I don't understand why we need to reset. When some guy fouls out at the start, small foul at the end somewhere, call a running foul, pins, wins, next one. The guys will adapt now because everyone's like, yeah, but he intentionally fouled out because that's the rules. Because I want to win.
There's nothing worse than watching the loser get another chance because he elbow fouled as he was being defeated. I hate that.
In the mood.
Yeah.
We all do that. We all do that, and we have done it in matches because it makes sense to do it.
I'm going to say there is one thing worse, though. The worst thing in the world is watching a screaming death war between probably the best guys in the world end on a foul so small that neither arm wrestler had the slightest fucking clue that it had taken place. But some guy sat down at the side while the entire watching world didn't know that a foul had taken place. Neither arm wrestler knew or gave a shit that a foul had taken place. Suddenly says, okay, a foul of this size just took place there and let's stop that match and screw it up. That is the equivalent of a visual catching your dick in your zip.
I would say, I would say the total of elbow fouls would drop like 30, 40, 50%, because you understand if your elbow moves out of the line or something, you have to win the match. Nothing will save you. So people would be more careful and the sport will evolve differently. You know, in the super matches, you kind of go with the flow. You know, you okay, I can do this, or you do it intentionally some point. In tournament, it would be, again, another system. And I think it would be better system, especially for the viewers. Everyone's like, oh my God, these matches are so boring. I agree. I agree with everyone, but those are the rules, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
For me, I make an interesting observation in rule sets in respect to who's become famous in the world. Devin Larratt is undoubtedly the most famous arm wrestler there is in the current scene. And I believe he is that, not only because of his personality, but because he has taken the rule sets of the American system of arm wrestling and squeezed it for everything it's worth. And with running fouls, there's just so much more entertainment in the sport. He pushes boundaries, and some people hate seeing him push boundaries, and they say Devin would get smashed in a WAF situation because he can't push the boundaries as much. But I love what Devin does, and I love how running fouls allows just more entertainment, more drama, and I believe that running fouls will never, it won't compromise who the best arm wrestler is on the day. I really truly believe that almost no matter what the rule sets are, if you have the same people in the tournament, it's gonna pan out the same way. So we need to, I do think WAF needs to shift towards something that is visually more appealing to the viewer, without a doubt.
I'll send in suggestion for next Congress for that one.
Yeah, I've already tried it, Ray. Good luck with that. But I really hope it comes off. Captain Major, CPT MAJ, is just coming with a super chat. Thanks for your super chat, brother. Sasha stands out as an anomaly. Also, the same as RVJ. But he is at a better age, and I imagine trains harder than the old guy. I'm sure he trains harder.
How tall is Sasha?
Probably 170, 2, something like this.
No.
Is that standing
I'm
on the platform?
170. Sasha cannot be 170, Boji.
So 168, 9.
I think a little lower.
No.
When I stand next to him, I'm like, yeah, man.
No. It's about 170 for sure.
5'6", is that? 5'6", 5'5"?
I think 170 when he's on the platform sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say he's 5'6". I think he's shorter than 5'6".
I think just the reason being he's a fascinating arm wrestler because of how short he is. He's a real anomaly. I think probably the most uniquely equipped side pressure based puller because of how short he is. And to me, he looks like Jason Statham's stunt double as well. I don't know if that helps him or not, but I find that short factor is I think that's going to be a really interesting thing for Rob as well. Rob, anytime you take on someone that is a real left of field shape, it kind of shocks you and surprises you. So I feel like Sasha's got a little bit of an edge in that respect because he's so different.
It's funny.
He's just using the vectors.
Yeah.
What is Sasha's training like? Like that man seems to have an elbow more resilient than anyone.
Can you imagine Sasha doing the owl?
Can you repeat?
Well, you won't know this, Bodgy, probably because you watch sensible programming. But not long ago on Arm PR and Uncle John's, Ryan came up with a rule or a move which was, illegal probably in your country, but it was amazing. We call it the owl, and basically the owl.
Got death threats
just show him the owl, Ryan. Walk him through the owl.
Are you talking just starting out here?
Yeah, but really, show him it. So your starting position is outside your arm like that. Yeah. I love that's like when you came out with the Virgin comment, similar face to that you made because it's similarly shocking.
Yeah.
You know, so out here and then try and look completely the other way, like around there. The heaviest weight you can possibly lift. That's the owl.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing it as well. But Sasha's game, most of the time, if he sees some hard times, it starts from here. Believe me, I can do arm wrestling practice 2 times a day, like 7 days in a row. But when I practice with Sasha, after I need at least 3 days rest.
Do you think that Sasha could potentially break the record at the owl? Who's got the record on the owl?
I think I got it. It's 80 kilos.
Or was it Tom? I can't remember if Tom Holland put up a pretty but his lift wasn't as good as yours.
Tom's
not as illegal.
Tom's a
Can you
master.
mute both of them? Can you just mute both of them? What are we talking about?
But anyway, I want to know: does Sasha specifically supinate and load his elbow up in a training outside of table time?
Like when I told you, like
Wait.
when he sees hard time.
No,
Like-
with weights. Does he
with
puts on
weights.
weights and
With weights, no.
just when he ends up there? Yeah.
He always does the most proper moves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
so he
look,
trains.
all
He
you have
trains
to-
with really. Sorry, John, go for it, mate.
All Sasha has to do is beat Rob like this, and Rob will be so concerned for the health of the children that are watching the match that he will quit the match immediately because he'll be so concerned about all the kids watching at home.
That's awesome, John. And that
Yeah.
comment alone, I can't wait now for you to be in the same house as this man. Just on
He
that.
might beat me up. Rob probably will beat me up. I'm guessing. He was so
I think
upset
all of
for
us are gonna be, you know,
absolutely no reason. But what can I say?
swollen lips and
Some
guys. The
amazing
next day
footage
we're just
coming. I mean, everybody's saying you're going to go with the arm wrestling live. With the fucking live shows beforehand, they'll be more entertaining. Where Rob's like, you know, fuck out.
I'm just going to stand behind Coach Ray the whole time. Gonna
Yeah.
get Ray in the middle.
He'll be climbing over you, John, to get to Bodgetron.
I know.
Yeah, you thought I was going to be there and I was going to be the natural.
I know,
buffer
now I
for
have
you,
no
John, but
protection.
now it's all yours.
I got to start sweet talking SB, I think.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
as soon as I see RVJ, I'm gonna be John talks so much, you know, off camera, dude. Just like, you know,
Calling up the. Have you seen this show, Rob?
yeah, yes. I'm like, dude, I have evidence.
Time codes.
Well, with the way Rob responded, it was clear that he didn't watch a goddamn second of any of the footage and just got it all secondhand from whoever the hell he was talking to.
Oh,
Oh, tremendous. So, SG Records has come in with a question. Will Dave manage to force fouls on Levan?
Well,
I don't think Dave would do that.
Dave's not going to look.
He's
for
too nice.
fouls, but inadvertently, Dave is strong enough that fouls may happen. I mean,
Yeah.
Levan has a fantastic history of keeping his elbow down, but Dave has more back pressure and side pressure fundamentals than probably any of Levan's opponents that he's faced. So, with Levan trying to top roll and that fundamental strength of Dave, one of those little magic micro fouls could happen for sure. But Dave's not going to look for it. No way. He's not going to try that.
Another super chat. Thank you very much to Chris Gammo coming with a super chat. And he's put, has there ever been a World Cup style tournament for arm wrestling? 3 to 4 pullers from each country have a group stage. Then the winners proceed to the elimination round until you crown a winner. Well, I don't
That's
know
exactly
about
how
that, but-
worlds work.
Well, we've
It's pretty much how it works.
The
Two
world.
competitors from each country, you know, bump.
It's a draw, and you get a winner. We've
Yeah.
I'm assuming, Chris, you mean in super match style, mate. We've if that's what you're referring to,
It would take
a few things
3
like that.
months.
Yeah, we used to do the 16. We started with 16-man battleground in Arm Wars.
So someone gets frozen first draw, they win, then they lose everything.
Everything. You cannot
Your
tie
arms
your
are trash.
shoelaces after
You
the
get
second
Sasha, stick in a hook, and you're like, mm.
Liverpool Echo Arena. Oh my God. So nobody could tie the shoelaces after that. Ridiculous. Truly ridiculous. We went down to 8-man,
Yeah.
and the 8-man battleground was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
And now we've gone to 4-man. because it's just.
I imagine in a final, the guys are so weak that some novices come over and just like flash pin them. You know.
Hey, listen, this White Wolf
Okay.
super chat. He's put, Neil, have you considered getting a media guru to put out match promo vids? Matthias Bedard from Armbet puts out some great vids for Devon. Stay stoic.
Boji, I wanna check this. Sorry, Ryan, I'm real quick. Before I forgot, I want to check this. I know this for I don't know how many years. I think 7 years. Is it true? Is it true that Sasha, before he won his first Europeans, I think he won his first Europeans, he was training for 3 months or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I've been
And
training.
he was
like,
15 or 16 years old, and he.
yeah, for 1 year. No, it's not actually true. He's been training for arm wrestling, but since age of 4, he's been into sports. So
Yeah. But the arm wrestling was 3 months. I think.
yes. Arm wrestling, it was 3 up to 5 months.
Yeah.
But probably it was something. It was in the range 3-5 months.
Yeah.
Like he went to his first nationals only with 1 month of preparation.
Crassi was similar, wasn't he, as well? Crassi was like really
Yeah.
early to a nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Came off bench pressing or something, but
And now we go to the second point of this story. Ryan Bowen made a post. Everyone saw that post.
Oh,
My
brilliant.
question to Neil is,
Okay.
Neil,
Yeah.
have you ever seen anyone who's so good that we keep talking and bringing up as one of the greats, who didn't start straight away as a really good arm wrestler? I'm not talking about like someone who started like late years. Even if they started at their 30s, they were like ace. Do you know anyone who was not that good, but they'll build that legacy? And I'm not talking about someone who was just, average, but, because everyone I know, Boji was good when he started,
It depends of what range of years you are talking, because like I needed few years to get on the big stage.
Okay, yeah, but okay, but still, like,
But you've gone.
my argument is
what
like
Ray's saying is that
Giannis.
ascendancy to the elite.
Yeah, like
silly level.
like Giannis was that guy that it took him like 12 years to win the first world title.
Mhm.
But he was placing like almost when he started in top 3. He was all the time on top. He was all the time that good.
I had exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. Always top 3, top 4, always for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Then you win, then you win, then you win, and then you back into placings. But yeah.
So I have bad news for you, Ryan. I don't think you're that special.
I love it even more. Then I love it.
Like the bottles of juice. Blah blah blah.
I love it even more. I get to aim to be the first one in your books to achieve it, which is pretty cool.
I think some of those things right, and take this how it's meant. I mean, saying, okay, I'm going to win Zloty. For me, Zloty now is not Zloty anymore. I mean that it isn't.
That's cool.
Because a lot of the top guys are not going to attend Zloty anymore. That's just the reality of it. They're not. So winning Zloty now, Zloty's position as the absolute cream of the crop tournament on earth is, let's just say, it is in question.
I have another one. I have another one.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. It's still for me an objective that I want to aim for. I like what I see in Zloty in terms of its recognition. Whether it is now missing the WAF nations, so be it. It's still something that is currently above what I've achieved. The reason I'm focusing on Zloty is I feel I have a very good grasp on North American style arm wrestling. Super matches, I'm great at. I can pull in the WAL and do really well. But Zloty, European style refereeing and the conditions, it's something that I haven't mastered yet. And I recognize that that's a good proving ground for me to do that. So my goal, my first phase goal was, I want to get a Zloty win. I don't really care whether that is seen as good as it used to be or not. That's just one of the steps that I'm going to achieve.
Okay, perfect. It doesn't matter what kind of lineup they have. You said you would win your weight class.
Yes.
What is
I'm
your
90,
weight class?
98 kilos right now.
98
So
kilos.
I'll pull 95s.
Oh, you would pull 95s.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Which
just
is
as
the same.
tough as 105. Because I'm thinking if 105 and we have Lachlan there,
Well, you watch. I'm going to beat Lachlan on October 23rd anyway. So
sure you will. Sure you will. Yeah. Train those bicepses, whatever you are doing there.
Anyway,
lying.
I
Stop
need to
lying.
go to sleep, guys. I'm way up to past my bedtime.
Wait. I'm way up also. Stop lying about Zloty. We all go there because of the DJ woman with the big tits.
DJ Sexy Lady.
DJ Sexy Lady, yeah.
Everyone go on Instagram. DJ Sexy Lady.
Shout out to DJ Sexy Lady.
I was very impressed. She DJ'd for like 5 hours straight without stopping. And it was just bouncing around the whole time. It's really
It's called amphetamines.
That's why you lost. That's why you lost, man. You lost focus. Your vectors went out.
Tell you what, take the down.
But right. In expanding on your point, I agree that's a rare commodity. One thing you got to recognize about when I say I've done 8.5 years in the sport, Australia as an entirety started in 2013 as an arm wrestling nation. So my first 4 years was arm wrestling with novices. So I wasn't immersed in training with established elites. I wasn't getting guidance from Crassy's and that. So and Giannis's and whatnot. I think that my timeline is a little bit different. So I don't know. I might have only been training efficiently and effectively for 4 years or for 3 years even. I don't know if you know what I mean. So beating the other novices in Australia back in 2013 was really just schoolyard arm wrestling. It was nothing professional about it at all. So that's one consideration. But the other thing is I am blessed to have a very rare set of circumstances in that this is my full-time career. And as long as I don't get a serious injury, I'm going to be doing this for at least another 15, 20 years with the pursuit of making it to those goals that I listed. Now, given how much I love the sport, given how much opportunity I have to be fully immersed in the sport, I think it's a reasonable expectation that I'm going to progress a lot further than anyone else. What I just said, how much I love and am obsessed with the sport. How much time, opportunity,
how many good arm
resources
wrestlers, Neil, how many great arm wrestlers you have seen that, with the same aspirations.
Well, right. Same thing. Okay, name the other arm wrestler that has had the same opportunities that I've had to spend this much time and resources on the sport.
Dude, okay, I agree. 4 years of Australia was in infancy. I can agree there, but you can find really good top rollers almost on any part of the world without any training, anything. They will go to these tournaments and they will place really high. You will see, Frode Hogland is one of those exceptions in Norway, in his weight class. You can go down by the line, any country, you will find them, those exceptions. I don't think you are that exception.
No, I don't believe that Ryan's gonna beat at any time in his career the current version that we are seeing of someone like Vitali Lalatin, which you would need to do to get to that level. Really. Yeah, but that's
you have to have these implants to grow bigger.
If you look at other,
why couldn't you just say I want to be best version of myself without setting these absurd
because that is
goals?
So boring. That is what
I know.
Else
we have something to talk about at least.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's a brilliant concept from Ryan, isn't it? Because ultimately, you can go out and tee that up and just start pulling guys all over the world.
The thing is, everyone when people observe this behavior in me for the first time, they think it's me. They think it's new, but the thing is, this has been me my entire life. And it's just scaling up continuously. Each time I get to a new chapter, the new people who observe it go, who's this delusional idiot who thinks he can achieve these things? Okay. When I started in arm wrestling and I was this skinny little redhead kid and I had the exact same projection on a national level, everyone in Australian arm wrestling said the same comments that you're saying now. And now I'm at the top of Australian arm wrestling quite comfortably. And all those people go, oh, look at that. Well, that happened.
Yeah, but that I'm going to say that is a step change, though, mate. It's.
I'm talking about the mentality here. I'm talking about. I'm not
the
saying,
mentality. Yeah, the mentality.
I
get you 100%. The mentality, I get you.
I'm with you there.
The mentality, I get you. But there is a massive. I think the thing
it's
that
called reality check.
Well, yeah, pretty much. If you get to a situation where you are extraordinarily gifted, right? Case in point would be Krasi Kostadinov, who's one of the best arm wrestlers that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fantastic arm wrestler. I've seen him do things that are remarkable. And yet when Krasi came on the show, we were having a quiet joke before we came on. He said, well, I want to get to number one. I want to be the man. And I'm like, you're not big enough. And he's like, laughing and would you? And I'm just saying, yeah, but you're just not big enough. Yeah. You can't. Somebody who is prepared to go to that different place, like a Vitali Lalatin, who is already an absolute physical giant and can move well, and's got an exceptional silver bullet technique. It's all there for him, and the man is a giant. You're not going to deal well with that. It doesn't matter what you do. You've got to have some kind of a level. You've got to have a leveling shot. And at the moment, you don't have that leveling shot, Ryan.
Well, on the other hand, Ryan, I think you're going to be on top in probably 5 years. You'll beat Levan before he retires. That's my guess. I'll stick with you, buddy.
He's not coming to Arm Wars. You cannot, he will not help you with RVJ. What are you doing, John?
I don't need help with RVJ. I'll give him an aneurysm in 5 minutes before he can do anything.
Can you say it again, please?
Yeah, RVJ. Come on down to Arm Wars reality check and let's have a party, buddy.
So, Dave, thanks for your super chat, mate. Nothing on there, but thank you very much for that super chat. Much appreciated. SG Records is coming with a super chat. Mrs. Monster is in the chat. This one is for her. Rebecca, how are you doing? Hope you're well, shoulders. Hope Mike is too, and he's fully recovered from the COVID incident. Let's have a look what else we got in here. I know there was a couple came in, which I missed. Brad Butler. Brad, how are you doing, mate? Hope you're good. So well, there will 100% no way we could be able to watch Reality Check live. I'm gutted if not. Sadly, there's no suspense in watching fights you know the results of. I've certainly not said there's no way that will be live. We don't know what the situation is yet. There will be potentially live and potentially recorded as well. So nothing's been announced on that. Don't believe everything you hear.
I'll do an illegal live stream from my phone. Don't tell Neil.
Dopey Ryan Blue Bowen in the super chat. Ryan's numbers at the gym and him training with all those monsters in Australia. He's top 5 in the world. Never beat any top 5 in the US, Canada, or EU.
Like I said, at the end of the day, I put that post out there, and because I'm actually unafraid to be held accountable to it, and I think that's one of the most important things to me as to why I do that. Some people might think it's pure marketing just to get the internet arm wrestling world to talk about me. It's not. It's accountability to myself in the sense that, like I said,
I want to say that myself, Podgy, John, and Ray did believe that.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, let's go around and just have a little whip round.
That's a side benefit.
Probably fits.
That's a side benefit, and it's why so many people in the arm wrestling world message me privately and say, "Hey, can you help me out with building a brand? Give me some pointers." But that aside, I'm interested in becoming the best arm wrestler I can be, and I want that to be one of the all-time greats. So I'm unafraid to be held accountable to it. And if I fail, here's the thing: a lot of people historically, like when I got my ass kicked as Lottie, a lot of people were hoping that was going to be, oh, finally he's going to realize that he can't do it. It's really never the case. I enjoy losing so much so that I'll keep on seeking out losses till I can't find them anymore. And the fact is,
that's so poetic.
With that attitude, I grow quicker than any other process that I have. So you're just gonna have to. You can be up. It's not that long to wait, Ray. You can bring the post up for me in 2 years and say, "Well, Ryan,
no, I would not do that. I will just.
I'm with him,
dude.
What do you say, Bodgy?
I'm with him because, like, I don't see this mentality in the new generation, you know? Like, Krasi's new students, just they don't have it, you know?
They don't
like,
have the balls, you mean? They don't have the...
For sure, they don't
stimulus.
have it. Like, I can't see this mentality in any of them. Like, no bad feelings for them, but for this year of preparations and everything, they're just not, how to say, they don't have their own characters. They don't have the mentality to be the winners.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what they're used to be. Like, we know who is the last one.
It's like the way I categorize that, the mental attitude of Ryan might be unbelievably commendable.
Yeah.
I have no problem with you backing yourself 110%. I really don't, mate. I have no issue with that at all. When I was put under the microscope there on, do you believe that will be the case, and do you believe that Ryan will go on to be the best arm wrestler on earth? I don't know. I just don't. I think there's not a cat in hell's chance of that happening.
If I was 100, if I'm just curious, Neil, if I was 130 kilos and had the skill sets I have, where would that put me?
If you were 130 kilos, had extremely good genetics for the sport, then potentially you could do it, yes. Because you're prepared to do everything else that a lot of people in that position are prepared to do to get there. So yeah,
but then you would place really high in every tournament you have done before, most likely.
What I would ask you, Ryan, do you not believe that there are a lot of other excellent arm wrestlers that do that and are 130 kilos and bigger?
Yeah, of course there are.
Well, there you go.
I think I can be better than them. That's the thing. I think I can.
But that's fine. I don't.
Ryan,
cool.
if you are 130 kilos, I would put you probably on a diet.
You're not a genetically big man, mate. You're not.
Yeah.
You're a normal size guy. You're 6'1.5".
Now it's the time to put your pants down, man. Prove them wrong.
So knock up a couple of super chats real quick. Southwest Arm Wrestler. Thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put, Neil, is the lack of hand size a factor for someone like Ryan from reaching the top, or were you just referring to the height and weight? Actually, everything, mate. Ryan is a very, very good arm wrestler. Very, very well-rounded.
I think he's excellent.
He's an excellent arm wrestler. Yeah. Really excellent.
Skills are really great.
I mean, let's just get this clear. Am I being derogatory? Is Ray? Are we really trying to knock Ryan?
No.
Not at all. Not at all. The dude is an excellent arm wrestler. He can really pull top class. Yeah. Okay. But there are other guys that are also excellent arm wrestlers and are much, much, much bigger and much more physically gifted than him. Yeah. And that means destination fucked. End of. Just not going to win. I mean, it's like, when Evel Knievel stands at the fucking top of the Grand Canyon and looks across, I can jump that one day. And everybody, even his mum's going, no, you can't,
Dude, I opened the Pandora's box.
Yeah, you just can't do that.
you just want a Ryan delusional Bowen part 6. That's all you want.
No, mate, it's just as simple as I respect the mental attitude. I just don't think you can do it.
And that's cool. Like I said, I expect everyone, the vast majority of people to have that opinion. That's cool. It's been a long time since we've all seen my actual level. Like I said, me pulling Lachlan doesn't show my actual level in any way, shape, or form. No. So we'll find out. We'll find out where that balance truly lies, and then everyone's opinions will shift and adjust and whatnot when we get that chance.
The kind of guy like you are, though, Ryan. What only thing I've done is give you more fuel, mate.
Yeah, of course.
I think, and I was just gonna throw this here. If you think you will beat Zloty winner in 2 years, you should
do that
right now, because if you don't beat Lachlan, then you could say, well, I think Lachlan is the strongest 105 puller, and he still have to prove it. But if you beat him, that's a good way forward. Good way.
Well, Lachlan, we know is a Zambalat level based on his 2019 performance.
What means Zambalat level?
Well, Zambalat levels means really good, but not the winner.
It means
I'm using Zambolat
like every
because
other
Zambolat-
match that Zambolat had.
I'm using Zambolat. Zambolat clearly has a very big history or big collection of data in that region of the world for how he performs.
He's really good. He's really good.
And Lachlan went
really
into the
amazing.
hook with him, drove down, had him in control, lost on micro elbow fouls to Zambolat. That's how Lachlan lost to him. And that was Lachlan 2019. Lachlan, I just know, has improved tremendously since then. So that's beating Lachlan is my most significant opponent to date by a country mile. So
you guys know Zambolat was kind of retired and kind of.
Here's my problem with that whole statement, and I'm very much aligned with what Ray's saying. Right?
Yeah, but
my problem with that whole statement. Well, it's as simple as this: Zambolat that day. Okay, Zambolat proved that he was Zambolat over a long period of time, not that day. That day may have been great or not as good. I don't know. But categorizing it as, you know, that's the level you're at, not just from Ryan. I always have a problem with that kind of black and white perception. For me, arm wrestling isn't black and white. The more time I spend in arm wrestling, the grayer it gets.
But it is what it is. You got it, like, when you've only got limited data, you can't work with anything else but that.
Yeah. So
how much data do I have? How much data does Lachlan have? We have very little data against European pulling in European settings. I have a decent amount.
I'm looking at the results. So, you know, in Zloty tour. So Zambolat was 4th. 5th place was Marius Tsutsumas from Lithuania. Marius, like Vlad has never lost to Marius. They pulled 8 years. Yanis has never lost to Marius.
He's a good puller.
He's a good puller, but I have
you saw 2 years ago. Lachlan. You also saw Lachlan beat Vlad
3 years
very
ago.
comfortably.
3 years.
Lachlan gripped Vlad and just pinned him. Have you forgotten?
No, I have not forgotten. I agree. Lachlan is really good. I believe he's right there. The argument is like, what does Zambolat puller means? Because Zambolat was kind of retired and kind of banned and really didn't go out. So I don't think.
So let's change it to Lachlan. Let's not call him a Zambolat puller. Let's call him a what he did to Vlad puller.
Yeah, but
what he did to 80
also
kilo
was always with iron rating.
So
what was that?
Like we've always saw Zambolat working out in iron ratings videos. Like he put his reputation like he's been always ready. Like he's been always working out. He never quit it.
Yeah.
But now I'm interested in how did Lachlan beat it Vladislav's, because if it's something like side and hook, I can't believe it, but if it's top row, it
was side and hook. It was side and hook.
It's opposite for Vlad. Vlad, it's kryptonite for top row pullers. Like he's lacking some against hook pullers. He feels a little bit uncomfortable, but with top row pullers, Vlad, it's, believe me, he's like kryptonite.
Like Lachlan should be able to do that, but again, there's a huge gap. I would say top guys from each class, most of the time the top guys beat the top guys. Vlad is the top guy in Božidar's class. The same, you know, they're top 3, 4, you know, however you look at it on the different day.
I would say
30 kilos.
First or second.
But I got to agree with a lot of what Ryan's saying here, though. I mean, right, you know, what I definitely don't want is this to turn into a, you know, beating up Ryan on the views that where I think he's right on some of this stuff. Like,
oh yeah, I think we just kind of went all over.
Yeah, we've got it. Like Lachlan is bloody strong.
I think he's really good. I think he's elite. We just need to check him. I don't think Ryan is.
Well, hey, let's be honest. Ultimately, this is it's a balls out match. It's a balls out match. We will see. I mean, if we come
I think we just promote the hell out of it.
What date's the match, right?
October 23rd.
October 23rd, you come back on here.
Yeah.
And Ryan's murdered Lachlan. There's 2 things that are going to come to my mind. Okay? The first one is going to be, Ryan, you lying son of a bitch. All that time you've been telling us that Lachlan's so far above you when you must have known that in training you had some secret weaponry that could disable him. The second one's going to be that it's a leveling up from a perception of Ryan. People are going to be like, well, we know Lachlan is serious.
Yeah.
You know? So if Ryan decimates him, then obviously he's got something. And it's on to the next one. Where's that level? Can he beat Chance Shaw again?
God, jeez.
Hey, let's knock over a couple of these super chats real quick. Top Karcher, Toop Karcher, sorry. Thanks for your super chat, mate. Bojadar, we got a gangbang tonight, mother. Yeah. He loves it, doesn't he? White Wolf back in. Destination. Oh, do you know the classic? Laugh my ass off, Ryan. Please take that quote and post it on your mirror. Let me motivate you. Hey, I know that this bounces off Ryan like water off a duck's back. Believe me, it won't bother him one bit. And good on him for that. Like I say, I cannot knock Ryan's attitude. I don't believe it, but fair enough, you know. It's only the same way as Ryan, when he spoke with Chance, said, look, I don't believe that you just don't want to pull with Corey West and Derek for these reasons. The similar situation. Ryan's not frightened of going out and putting his, you know, nailing his colours to the mast. And myself and Ray are just saying we don't believe that he can be the overall champion of the world at any point.
Yeah,
that's it. Dopey Ryan Blue Bowen's come in with a super chat. Thanks, mates. But Ryan's so good right now, he could pull a fire truck full of water with his side pressure. Owl power. When Lachlan Adair is the level you measure yourself by, wow. Well, we will see. Let's have a look. Ray's Cat flying in with a super chat. Ryan, if you want to transcend mortal men, you must, 1, make weight full. 2, you have to live it. Only the bloat lord has ever done this. A little bit of a reference there to the mighty Devon Larratt. Jeremy Mayer with a 20 little super chat. Thank you, mate. Love Ryan's mentality. Excellent. Yeah, so do I, actually. Expressing goals for everyone to hear that seem impossible is for some the greatest athletes ever. The best way to hold themselves accountable to max out every shred of potential they have. Love it. And that's a very good point. And I think, to be honest, that's exactly what Ryan's saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying that you put it out there to allow people to measure you and you to measure you by that comment.
Yeah,
and
I'll stand. I very firmly stand by my goals and unaffraidly pursue them. It doesn't, regardless of what people's opinions are. So that's fine.
You, mate.
Yeah.
Classic cattail Harden in the top corner and Ray with a bit of a hand job.
I think we just gave a lot of fuel to Ryan. If he proves us wrong, it's good to be wrong.
You guys are going to feel well when Ryan beats Levan in a couple of weeks. You're going to feel awful, aren't you?
Terrible, John. Honestly, we will feel as bad as you're going to feel in that RBJ headlock. Yeah.
Not if he uses his left arm, then it isn't going to hurt at all.
Seriously, John, what do you think of that? Can Ryan, in your opinion, become overall world number 1?
I mean, you guys make good points, right? It's just a matter of size. I'm excited to see. Do I want to see a 275-pound Ryan Bowen? Yep, I sure do. Just to see what it looks like. What does it look like? How big is that guy's head? How many new hats does he have to buy?
They're like Jerry Cadorette in glasses.
Yeah, I say bring it on, right? Do I think it's very likely? Like, let's say Ryan is going for the number 1 spot in 10 years. You got to think a guy like Vitali is still going to be kicking around. Do you ever see Ryan Bowen beating a guy like Vitali Lalatin?
Vitali Lalatin was 90 kilos once too.
Man, he killed our whole national team in one night.
Yeah, but let's be honest. When Vitali Lalatin was 90 kilos, he looked like a bootlace.
Yeah.
I mean, the man, he had the frame. You know what I'm saying? He had an exceptional frame on which to build. Yeah. The limitations that guys like myself and you have got, Ryan, is that we don't have that massive frame, brother. We don't have the God-given advantages. Mm-hmm. You've got to try to manufacture advantages, and however technically proficient you get, however fluid you get, you always look against that wall. You know what I mean?
Look at what Hermes has done with his frame. Hermes looked like a boy in 2013. Now he looks like a top 5 in the world guy.
Yes,
Hermes won Junior Worlds first time.
Yeah. Phil, I get it.
Slotty tour.
We're talking about frame changes here.
Yeah, but even 95.
Well, we're talking
Hermes
about
was storming absolutes as well. Like even
yes.
95.
That's the difference, buddy.
That's what Ray was saying at the start of this.
Boy to beast.
It's like a diamond's still a diamond before you cut it and polish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you lost to Anil Najar, you know.
No, he did beat Anil.
Oh, I beat him. What are you talking about?
You beat him. Oh, sorry.
He did beat Anil in a great match.
That was a good match. So, Ray, let me ask you the question. Ray, so when you look at yourself, so when I look at myself, I'm 37, right? I've been hanging and banging here and there in arm wrestling. This is the best I've ever been by a long margin. What do I want to do in arm wrestling? Have a laugh and be relevant for another 10 years, right? I don't need to be number one. I'd like to have some good matches. I'd like to go to Arm Wars. I'd like to, have a good time. When you look at yourself, Ray, what do you tell yourself, like where you want to go and where you want to be, and like compared to Ryan, what would you say about yourself in the future?
I want to make Latvian arm wrestling nation better. I want to have better arm wrestlers. That's what I want.
So you're more of an outer.
I've never been inner. Like since I started training people, that's what I do. I'm more invested in them than myself. My boys. Like I wasn't as beat up about my match. I was more beat up that my guy Marats lost. Kaspars and Vladislav won, but he lost, and I felt like that's my fault. So I'm more on that side. I'm thinking a lot of different things. For me, I love the sport. I love competing. But there are other things that I can make impact and legacy from. So I'm not thinking about that. If I have good matches and I up my level, good. If I would have been a great arm wrestler, you already have known it. I am as good as I am. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that.
Yeah, me too. Same spot.
But you're one of the best coaches.
Yeah, for sure. Bojidar, how long have you been arm wrestling?
Since 2014.
Okay. And Ryan, how long have you been arm wrestling?
Since 2013.
So pretty much the same amount of time.
2006.
Ooh, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my first time on table. Serious 2011. Yeah.
The point there that Ray was making earlier is, I mean, people's opinions vary. My opinion on Bojidar is that if he is not the best 80 kilo arm wrestler on earth right now, he's in the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe that's a fact. Yeah. I'm not blowing smoke up the man's ass. It's purely and simply, I believe that to be the case.
I believe it with all my heart.
Can say
I'm going to bring the other top 3 guy to him.
I can say that my table practices are like for a 20-year career guy.
But the thing the point I'm making here is that you are highly committed, highly proficient, highly fluid in the same manner that Ryan is.
For sure.
Okay. Now, if we break this down into the disparate elements, the second point of that is that you state that you are naturally trained.
For sure, yeah.
Okay. Ryan, on the other hand, states that he is not at this stage naturally trained, and he takes PEDs at this point in his career to pull professionally. Okay. Now, if you look at the trajectory and you look at where you are currently in your weight class and currently in the world for the same period of time with enormous amount of commitment, arguably you've less time to commit than Ryan has. And you are in your early 20s, Ryan's in his mid 30s.
Yeah.
So the opportunity that you've got, you would think that you have got a better potential to progress than Ryan has. Who knows? Because you're a younger man.
Who knows? Yeah.
Now the other thing is there.
I do believe I have more pluses, like due to my age, probably, and my better basis.
Well, the proximity. This is where I'm going. This is exactly where I'm going. So if I'm a guy like Ryan, all right, and you've got all of the opportunities that he can afford himself in the sport because he works within the sport. One of the best things that I think he could do to prove my ass wrong, okay, and I would be fine with him proving me wrong, would be to bring in the talent from around the world to emulate the kind of area, the environment that you're in. So if
only government restrictions would vanish.
Yeah, but they're going to do it. Well, you know, touch wood, we're going to get to a different place. And when they do,
in respect to the PED, respect to the PED chapter, Neil, as well, keep in mind that we have not got an international update on what that has done in respect to me either. So we don't know. You knew where I was at roughly. I beat Alan Guerra, I beat Dallas Langston, I beat Chance Shaw, all before that began.
Mate, so forget all of that. What I'm talking about is
in terms of what it's translated to, we don't yet know.
But what it has done is put you bigger, Ryan.
Oh yeah, but like I said, I'm still going to compete. I'm going to compete in the exact same weight category that I did last time I pulled Zloty.
Okay, so I know when we last spoke, you were talking about the fact that you wouldn't go smaller again because you're in pursuit of that.
Yeah, I just want to be the best that I can be, and we'll see where that leads. Yeah.
If you're going that route and you're restricted, surely one of the things that you need to do, if we're doing everything we possibly can to get you to that extraordinary level, for me, it's much bigger than I get bigger, I get stronger. It's that I get access to all of the guys in the world that can test me in those different ways. And one of the things, one of the major factors there that's against you is that you're in a country which is relatively isolated for top level arm wrestling talent. And I think that certainly from my career, I think where I managed to get much better was just the fact that I was fortunate enough to be able to go to different countries and experience those really top level athletes who had different technical perception and expose yourself, immerse yourself within that. That for me is your logical next step, mate. When it does open up, I'd invest living daylights out.
I've said it. I've been asked that question a million times, and I've said if I had a teleport, I've actually said I would go to Bulgaria and train and live there. That's what my answer's been.
That's the point. Like one day I'm working out with Krasi, the next day I'm going to where I'm now. I'm pulling with Pamen, with Svetan, with Nedalin Hristo. George Cvetkov is always coming here. I go to a different city. I pull with Jordan Zonev. It's big variety. What makes me, at least, I don't want to talk from others' name.
I think it's what made John Brzezinski so powerful too, was that he traveled every couple of weeks and pulled other elite guys. He had an incredibly wide range. Within the bounds of logistics, I do that. Like I said, I would have been doing that continuously for the last 2 years if I had been in a position where I could travel, but I simply can't. But financially, I can afford to travel. Business will actually do better for me if I'm traveling. So that's not a problem. It's just literally my government will not let me leave Australia. That's quite literally it right now.
Now we got another super chat. Guy's going to wrap this up very soon, so please probably don't send any more super chats just now. Has anyone? This is from Dopey Ryan Blue Bowen. Thank you for your super chat, mate. Has anybody become number one in the world after the age of 40? Ryan is almost 40, isn't he? Well,
36.
Not necessarily over 40, but guys have become truly exceptional over that age. People like Toddzilla, for example, truly exceptional. I mean, let's be honest, if you attain the level of absolute excellence that he has, I'd settle for that. And I'm pretty sure you would as well, Ryan. I mean, he's mega.
Yeah, well, like I said, I got excited when I turned 36. I said to myself, all right, this is when Todd Hutchins discovered the sport. So that motivates me. I know Tim Bresnan, another guy, started at 40 or something. Well, no, after 40 even, I think. So there's
didn't get to number one in the world, but
he's at that pointy end, and that's one of the things that appealed to me about the sport in the first place. Was I as a kid dreamed of being a professional sportsman. I tried and failed in tennis, got close on the national level, but failed ultimately. When I discovered arm wrestling, I noticed that the average age of world champions was in their 40s. And so that was the big thing for me. That was the huge appeal. And I see crazy Georgia Zakowicz at 70 years old still being able to compete at the top level. And I said, oh man, this is a unique sport. So the longevity in this sport is something that actually does mean that I believe anyway, that I do have the time to put another 15, 20 years in the sport and still be relevant, despite my age at that time. So.
Yeah. Engage in discussion. Guys, I literally looked up a moment ago and saw how long we've been on here, and it is ridiculous. An absolutely phenomenal amount of time. I want to say thank you so much for sticking with us in the chat, guys. If you've all stayed in with us for this long, I don't know how many people are in the chat right now, but criminal amount of time we've been on here. I want to say a big thanks to our special guests here on the Fix tonight. Boji Troll, thank you very much. Boji Rasimionov, ladies and gentlemen. Boji has just launched his own YouTube channel. You need to go and show this guy some love, ladies and gents. He is the best 80-kilo arm wrestler in the world, in my opinion. He is an absolute character. Great lad, fantastic entertainment. He's also extraordinarily knowledgeable. He's training with some of the best arm wrestlers in the world, and he's happy to share that knowledge with you. Get over, give this guy a sub, give him a like. By that same token, please go over and subscribe to the mighty Uncle John. This guy's one of the men who is most active on social media in arm wrestling. Again, fabulous character, very, very talented individual. You're going to see him compete in Arm Wars Reality Check very shortly over here in the UK against David Bradford. He's got the merch on sale right now. You can get over and have a look at that. You can stake on this fella and give him an opportunity to earn some money back for the match. Please get over and support Uncle John. And last but by no means least, my two co-hosts on the Fix, as always, Rolly Royce, the voice of arm wrestling. Raimonds Liepins, up in the top corner there, showing what Ryan's good with, the fingers. And Ryan Blue Bowen, ladies and gentlemen. This guy he's the center of the Fix. He's the epicenter. Creates so much good, so much chat in the sport of arm wrestling. And you can see the self-belief that this man has. Remember, anything you want for arm wrestling, you can get it from Pound for Pound. This guy's got training equipment, merchandise, you name it, it's there. 15% off with the code Supernatural. Get over and buy your stuff there. I need 6 sets of straps for Arm Wars Reality Check, so I'm going to be getting over Ryan to sort that out. Ladies and gents, thank you for coming and checking us out. If this is your first time at Supernatural Strength, please like, share, subscribe, and until we see you next time here on The Fix, take it easy, peeps.
Cheers.